So welcome back to SuryaCast episode 4. What I have here is a oatmeal bowl because we are all about fitness today, and we're talking about how to be healthy, about the relationship of fitness to vanity, and whether people actually go to the gym because they really want to be healthy, or whether they want to show off on social media. About the relationship between masculinity and fitness, if you will, right? And what actually gets people going on fitness, and whether actually being addicted to fitness, though it sounds paradoxical, might actually be unhealthy, right? So, what I actually have here, if I could be even more, I would say, detailed about it, is that I have oatmeal, banana, cinnamon honey to kind of balance out the glucose, and a little bit of salt. It's a really nice, fantastic, I would say, pre-workout meal that you should have. So let me get started off with Pranshu. But actually, before I get started off with my friend Pranshu, let me say that we're pairing this with the most delicious and the most amazing drink ever, and that is water, because it hydrates you. And there's nothing more satisfying than drinking water when you're actually thirsty.
Yeah,
or in between sets. Like you do a set of bicep curls and you don't know what to do. Right. Okay, you've got to drink water.
God's
right?
piss.
Yes. Anyways, Pranshu, so what got you started off in lifting, and what do you think about fitness in general? Why did you start lifting? You had a whole, bodybuilding phase at one point, right?
I had a very strong bodybuilding era of my life. Well, the story is as old as time, dude. I was a very underperforming boyfriend or a partner, and my at that point in time girlfriend left me for somebody who was okay. And then I walked into the temple, the gym, if you saw me. I was in the US at that point, the university. The gym was donated by a Saudi prince. So, let's say, have you ever climbed on top of the Narayangura Bridge?
Right. Yeah.
Narayangura Bridge. So if you start so the gym was actually as that long, in like width, but not length, But it was big. It had a swimming pool. It had an outdoor swimming pool, sauna, steam. Had a track running inside of it, like a 3-mile thing, and then a whole lot of gym equipments. And of course, that's the first time I'm in the US. I was never a gym going guy here back when, before pre-2015.
Yeah, I saw you actually in, back in the US. You were like having a hardcore bodybuilding era.
Yeah,
but go on.
Yeah, so that happened and I didn't stop from there. So basically, I let my emotions get the best of me, and I learned as much as I could. The problem was that I couldn't stop and know the importance of rest, how to rest, how to sleep. And so I was like on the clock, 2 hours eating, 1 hour drinking a liter of water. I got that narrowed down. I was able to get down to 11% body fat, and then somewhere around 6 to 7. And then suddenly 2018, I had a shoulder injury that got me, was a major setback to my...
You were deadlifting, if I remember.
Yeah, I was
correctly.
deadlifting about twice my weight at that point, like over 160 kilos. And then I was bent on the left side. So my dominant side is right, so my left, and I had the video. Somebody took a video of that and I tilted like that. I completed the lift and I dropped the weight. But like a day later, I understood okay, something's not wrong with my elbow, something's not wrong with my forearm, and then it reached up to my shoulder, and then all sorts of problems. So I suffered for 2 months. I stopped bodybuilding from there on, and I focused all my energy into recovery as to how I'm going to get back into the gym. Using the best means possible. That means seeing the doctor, doing physiotherapy, getting some cupping, massages done. So yeah, that was a long journey, very long journey of recovery. I'm not fully recovered yet, so it's like a everyday thing that I have to do. Like I gotta do this to feel great about my body, certain body parts. So yeah.
Sorry.
That's interesting. I'll come back to you on your lifting journey. But let's just
Question
once-
on the, you said you started, you had these emotions and you started. How did you learn? Like, what is the learning? Where do you learn the lifting from, or where did you see? Was it YouTube, or was it your friend helping you, or do you have a trainer who help you in your initial part? How did you start?
Got you. So the minute I walked into that gym, I saw like 6 feet guys, just big, muscular shoulders, like white dudes. And I was like a scrawny kid, I'm like, oh shoot. And subconsciously, I thought, this is what I'm going to learn. This is what I'm going to do. Because prior to that, back in India, I was into professional swimming. So I'd go every day swimming.
Sam Sulik in the house. I'll talk about him later, but go on.
So I'd swim. The way I learned how to swim professionally was actually looking at a coach who was teaching future students. I'd never paid that guy, but I just saw him he was teaching, these kids, and I just learned how to swim professionally, and then, never looked back. But yeah, I developed a really bad ENT with swimming, so yeah, quit that. And so I just focused on looking at people, how they lift, how the movement is, how much time they spend in the gym, what are they eating, a little here and there, bro science, if you may, like the gym bro.
The gym bro science.
Yeah, but this gym actually had really hardcore guys, and they knew what they were doing. This is not
natural. Nah.
Okay, so I was introduced to Derek Lunsford. I don't know if I'm getting the last name wrong. So he won Mr. Olympia recently. So I know the recent Mr. Olympia from
Mr. Olympia Open, not.
Okay, hold on. If you can do a quick Google search of Derek Lunsford,
Let's do that.
Check it out.
Do you want to do that? Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Rohit's on it.
So he's from Terre Haute. Terre Haute is the university in India where I used to go, and that's where I used to have 2 gym memberships. Actually 3. One in the college, which was free. Then the second one was Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is like a beginner thing, yeah.
Regular thing, right?
Beginner thing. When you're traveling, I had that black card. Anywhere I go, I can go, jump into the gym, get my session, and get my shower, get the hell out of there. And then also Anytime Fitness, because it gave me the privacy of taking my clothes out in front of the mirror and actually looking at what I'm doing instead of just being oblivious to what body part that I'm working on. That mind muscle connection that people tell about. Touch that muscle. Connection. Somebody has to touch it. I like to watch what I'm doing.
I personally feel that it's a bit overrated, the mind muscle connection. But anyways. Go on. What was your split like? Was it push pull legs or
no?
Just before you go there, his name was Derek Lunsford, and he did win 2023 Mr. Olympia, not the Open, the Mr. Olympia.
Mr. Olympia, yeah, Mr. that dude.
Okay.
That guy. Hold on a second. Let me tell you. He's short. He is 5'4". He's 5'4".
5'6".
5'6". Huge, like in width. Okay. Huge.
Okay. The V, absolute V.
Dude. And yeah, back then he had a really hot girlfriend, man. She was Filipino, and oh shit, she walked in, and then everybody looks at her as well. But anyway, Derek Lunsford, I saw that guy, and I saw something in that guy. He was very humble. He was not, his ego or anything was not bigger as his body. He'd give you the right information. Right. He told all this B, CAA, all that creatine. Hold on, just do one thing at a time, and then when the time comes, introduce that into your body and your bloodstream, and then see the effects on what it does to you. Because not everybody's body type is the same and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So I had run-ins with him, multiple run-ins with him, exchanged a few information here and there, but not as much as I could. But thereon, I got into I took a serious, a decision, and I booked Sadiq Hadzovic for online coaching program.
Okay, yeah. I know.
Yeah,
he's on YouTube as well.
Yeah, Sadiq Hadzovic, the guy, New York guy, Long Island guy. Yeah.
Right.
So I was fascinated.
He's got an amazing chest, I think.
He's got a good chest, and his obliques are like shark type, That's what actually, okay. I want to be like this dude. This is what I want to be. Right. And so I chose, and I hit him up on the email, got subscribed, paid the first initial thing, and then so forth and so on. I got that thing, and I understood how bodybuilders function and how they eat and how they sleep and all that. So that was my opening. And
Right.
and then further on, I dived deep into it. So there's this Californian institute. I think on the top of my mind, I think I forgot. International Sports Science Association, ISSA.
Mm-hmm.
And I had enrolled for it for strength and conditioning, bodybuilding, and nutritionist, fitness nutritionist. So I had a bunch of books and I read through. In this, while I was doing this, that's the span of 3 months that I could cut down weight and build as much as muscle as possible. This is my time where I was not focusing much on my recovery.
Right. I mean, recovery in the sense, what was your split like? Like, for example,
Full body.
I would do a push-pull leg split. I've done all kinds of splits. I've done push-pull legs. I've done upper-lower splits, right? And I've also done, I think, what is called the bro split. Okay, which is one body at a time. And I've also done full body, right? I think when people say that this is the best split, I think there is no best split.
Yeah, there is no best split.
What works for you and what lets you, what is consistent, what makes you consistent, what you're consistent with is the best split ever. Everything else is, just somebody saying that this is my opinion and my opinion is the best. And as Lebowski says, that's just your opinion, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not true. So you did a full body split.
I ended up doing like the last thing that I came up which works for me is the full body split. So I've done everything that you just said and also a whole bunch of other things other than that. But full body actually gave me what I needed.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that some people say the full body split is like marginally better than the push-pull leg split. Most people kind of are with the PPL. The PPL split seems to be the most traditional one that people generally use, but some people say that full body split might be better, right? So I do PPL. I think that's the best for me at least. But I also wing it at the gym in the sense that I don't track everything.
Yeah,
I don't
of course.
track every little minuscule aspect of my lifting, because if I did that, I can't. I don't have that much amount of time and I'm not like a professional bodybuilder. So from a cost to benefit ratio, I think tracking every single aspect of your lift is something that really works. I mean, if you really want to do it, more power to you. Please go ahead and do it. But it's something that I really can't do it. Not that I can't do it, but even if I do it, I don't really see the point of someone like me doing it. Unless and until I'm preparing for a show, or unless and until I'm like really into it, I don't see the point.
Yeah, I was super into measuring each and everything,
which is good.
That went into my body and came out. So yeah. But yeah, after that phase ended, I got the injury. The recovery took a long time until I got back to the gym again. Started doing some more weight training. So I am going to the gym, not as much as I did, 3 times a week maximum. Try to get the shape in order as much as I can, because I have a full-time job and stuff, so I'm laying off on then you understand a lot of what stress does to you when the age is kicking in. So yeah, that's about my my journey as of now. Yeah,
that's interesting. I'll come back to you again, but now with you, Rohit, what about your fitness journey?
Yeah, so my personal fitness journey wasn't. I'm not a hardcore. I don't go to gym every day and stuff. But I did start early in terms of, because I was always genetically big boned, so I was always tall. I was always standing out a bit. So, always looked at the scrawny, the thin guys and felt very jealous, because always grass is greener on the other side, right? But because I was always standing out, always big bone. So I wanted to get that. But I could never get it. But obviously, I'm not genetically wired that way. But I started working out probably like the second year of college, a bit of college. And whenever I came home, I did at home. And my dad was actually having he put a personal trainer then. So I was just seeing from him, learning from him. He was doing the PPL, the pull play. I think, which is the traditional one. All the traditional trainers, I think, whoever.
They generally do
push. Yeah. So,
I mean, there's a reason for it, but I'll tell you the reason later on, but go on.
Yeah. So I learned that. So he used to have like push one day, pull one day, then legs one day, and then again push, pull, legs. So on each part, one day was biceps, one day was shoulders, one day was legs. So each part was covered in the whole week. So I started then, but I think I was probably the first year of college when we were about 20. our body makeup is, because we're still growing at that point, maybe we're still young. It's easier to lose weight, it's easier to gain mass, so it was much easier for me then. So for example, when I was, so I'm about 6 feet 2 3, so when I was in college for the first year, I was a little overweight because our 11th and 12th we barely do anything in India.
Oh man, I cannot even begin that 11th and 12th journey.
Yeah, so we don't have time for anything, right? We just eat, study, sleep. That's it, literally nothing else. So I gained a bit of weight. I was late 90s, hundreds, a little chubby. And then I went to college. And so I had time for other activities, like let's say gym for some time, play cricket for some time, go walking, because VIT, I studied in VIT, where you needed to cycle to a lot of places because everything was far away.
Right.
So generally speaking, even without doing much activities, just doing normal day stuff, I lost a lot of weight, and I'm almost about 80 kilos. So around 20 kilos I lost in for 1 year. And generally, I didn't even try. It was just that I was outside. I was not eating food every day, every minute. I was not just sitting around not doing anything because I had to study every time. So I had more time, I had more activities. So I just shot down like that. And then then again I went to the trainer and he said, you need to build up mass. It's just losing weight is not good. So then I started working out again. But for me personally, yeah.
Was that because of the height to weight ratio?
Yeah.
So I think you're 6'3", you're supposed to be over 80.
Yeah. So the problem is when you're really tall, if you gain weight, you look really fat. But if you lose weight again, you look really bad because you look really scrawny. So you need to maintain that balance. And it's really hard, especially because when you're tall, you will have that experience.
I thought that you can actually get away with being a little on the plumper side if you're tall.
No, it
Because a
depends,
short
because
guy
I
looks
am
plump. He looks really okay.
yeah,
Go
because I'm more big boned, right? So everything is much bigger size. So that's why I feel that, or even what I've understood is that if you gain weight, it shows very quickly. But when you lose weight, also equally, you look really bad also, because
Right.
you
Okay.
once the thing that I always was told is you need that muscle, some part of muscle for that height. Otherwise, it's only going to be hard on your knees, going to be hard on your limbs later on in your life, right? Because so much of your weight is going to be on your limbs, and which is probably is the main issue for tall people, right? Because
Right,
a lot of weight on your knees. Knees is the biggest issues for people above 6 feet. So that was what I was doing, but unlike both of you, I was not really motivated in terms of going to gym every day. I had a lot of friends who would drink till 3 but go and work out at 6. I was not really motivated that way. Why do I need to go to gym every day? It was more of a natural, sports activities as fitness. Like let's say cricket. I love tennis. I love swimming. So I was into a lot of these sports activities as fitness compared to more bodybuilding. I felt bodybuilding probably two days a week. I would do maybe 1 month and then I get bored. So I would do 1 day, 2 days a week, and then rest of the week I would do some other activity like badminton, cricket, tennis, which I felt were more competitive for me personally. I felt more involved, and I felt those were better for me as a fitness, for improving my fitness. For me mentally also it helped that way, because it was really boring. Like I needed a TV for, let's say I want to do cardio. I couldn't just do cardio. I needed something to watch. It was too boring for me. And then even the lifting, it was fine. Like I was really motivated for 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, it's the same thing again. I don't like to get into those, it's the same thing repeating again and again. After 2 weeks, it's the same workout again. So like how you can do a bit different, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. So I think that way, that's the reason I went more towards sports. And the disadvantage of going towards sports is a gym, right? If you have the motivation, you can still go after you start work. You're busy with your work. But once you're busy with your work, you can't go and play sports because you need other people,
Right.
you need other infrastructure. So it's after college, I couldn't get that the same routine of finding something to play or something. So right now, currently, I found swimming to be something that I can do every day. So I'm now started last 1 month. I've been going to swimming every day. So which is, I feel that because I love swimming at the end of the day, and I feel that is something which doesn't bore me every day if I go. So that's something I found is good for my fitness, the whole body workout. And also lung capacity, I felt, is improving quite a bit because of swimming. So I'm just following that instead of gym.
That's very nice. That's interesting, actually. I think it has to do with the fact that people say that you have to be fit and you have to be healthy, and you have to really always go to the gym and you have to pump iron. I mean, if that works for you, again, just please do that. But otherwise, if that's not the case, you should probably do what you love, do what actually you're consistent with. If you like swimming, do that. If you want to play basketball, you should probably go play basketball instead of just always going to the gym and doing that. Do you guys have any questions for me? I've been asking you some questions.
So we have a relationship that dates, from LKG, but we also met in the US a couple of times. I remember how you looked. I remember how you looked when, on the day of your birthday when we celebrated it on my terrace, where we ended up on that in the early morning.
Right.
Yeah. So, looking at you now, I can picture that. I can picture you back then, and I can picture you now. You have transformed yourself. You've lost so much weight around the waist. I did not know that you have a rib cage which is small, and then you have like a V-tapered shoulder to back ratio, and I could never picture that when, let's say the time I saw you when you were nice and plump. Yeah, so let me ask you, like, what made you, because I took you to you remember I took you to a Korean restaurant. We made you had that nice soup that you
Right, you did take me to a Korean restaurant, I remember. Right.
US?
And then
In the US,
Yeah.
yes.
he was not, I just wanted to make him feel better, take him to a Korean restaurant, make him feel feed him with something with my Chinese friend. If you remember that guy?
I remember your Chinese friend, yes.
Yeah, really.
I forgot his name. What's his name?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we had a technical difficulty and we went 20 minutes without a video of Shiva because, due to a gym alarm, which...
So I had a gym alarm that rang and that stopped me from, that stopped the podcast from airing. It stopped the video from actually recording. So how ironic that we were talking about fitness and I ended up, sabotaging the whole video. But anyways, you were asking me a question.
Yeah, I was asking you, going back to that same,
The Chinese
Korean restaurant, the guy who was waiting us was totally a cartoon character. Yeah, the Chinese guy, my friend named Wei Li, Chinese name, deadlifter. So that's where I learned how to deadlift and stuff. So yeah. So how was your journey into, from being like a nice plum orange or a tomato to becoming somebody? I admire you, man, because you have like a nice taper. You've changed your life around completely. Because back then, I mean, if you want to like open up about the personal thing that went on in the US, so we had we had a couple of episodes of so give me like an overview of how you overcame your personal problems and became whoever you are today.
Absolutely. So I have to repeat what I said before, and I'm going to do that now. So I think a lot of men, at least, who I've seen and who started going to the gym, have started having this problem because of the girl problem. They have had a girl problem, right?
Yeah,
I've probably had two. I've only met two women who've had a man problem, okay, or they've gone to the gym because they wanted to kind of get back with their, show it to their ex that
they made an effort, man.
How hot they can become.
Kudos to those girls.
Right. But mostly I've seen that it has something to do with men who are hurt because of something that a woman had done to them, and they're like, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to show her, right? It's like a breakup thing. Fortunately or unfortunately, I've not been one of them. And I think the reason why I started going to the gym is because of the lack of a vibe in the United States of America, if I may put it. So if you go onto the streets of India, you see a vibe, okay? But what you see in America is a vacuum. You don't see a vibe, you instead see a vacuum. So I was surrounded by a lot of people, but I was very lonely. So that was paradoxical, right? In the sense that I had a lot of people around. There were a lot of parties going on. There was a lot of, debauchery, but at the same time there was a lot of loneliness, because most of the people I saw, most of the Indians at least who went there, they did not come to the US because they had a clarity of vision and they wanted to do something. At least I thought I went there because I wanted to do that, and I had a full-time job, right? As opposed to a lot of people who kind of go there, join a consultancy, right? And somehow are there to kind of like, mint money in some sense or the other, which is fine, okay? But then there was this huge lack of vision that I saw, and probably I was also not surrounded by the best of company. So there was this vacuum that got reflected in me because of the vacuum in the air, okay, so to speak. So I thought to fill in that vacuum and that level of insecurity, I started going to the gym, because due to that loneliness, I wasn't probably the best performer at work also. And I have very high standards on myself, in the sense that even if I'm not going to the gym, even when I wasn't going to the gym and I was doing my master's, it's like, I have to do something with my life. I have to go, I have to get a good job. Okay. I have to do a full-time job. I have to not go to a consultancy. I have to do, I have to do something in the AI ML space, because that's what, good right now. That's very interesting. The math, okay, behind it is interesting and all of that. And I wasn't living up to my standards. So I thought that very thing, okay, that insecurity that I wanted to fill is what really made me start going to the gym. And the more I dug deeper into the science, okay, of bodybuilding, okay, and lifting, just being healthy, not just bodybuilding per se, lifting for strength, trying to lose weight, trying to be healthy, is that lifting weights and building muscle, okay, is not just about vanity, but it's also the fact that it helps you. It increases your bone density, it increases your cognitive function, it delays aging, it makes you eat more. You can eat more and not put on fat. And for a foodie like me who just has to, who's hangry if he doesn't eat, right, and really likes to eat a lot, I have a sweet tooth, I have a salty tooth, I have an umami tooth, I have every tooth that is possibly there out there. I loved the fact that I could eat more and not put on fat. And I was 97 kgs, right? And I was not 6'2" or 6'3" like you. I was 5'9". So I was round, literally, right? So that was my journey or transformation, where I kind of did it because I wanted to do it for almost some sort of a mystical reason, I guess. So there's a mystical reason. It's to push harder and to get better. And I think if I can do that in the gym, and if I can face it and just go through that pain, I can face anything else in my life. So that was my aspect of why I wanted to go to the gym.
I think analyzing it through psychology, right? I think it makes sense because you associated gym with positivity, and coming back to working out, you saw gym as an out, from your negative part of your life. But also it kind of gave you an association with positiveness, and I think that helped you continue it because you wanted that positiveness. You didn't want the negative. You want to get rid of the negative, and to get that positiveness, you wanted to continue, going to the gym. And that association psychologically in the mind helped you set that pattern in your life.
That was very well put, actually. Very well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. So now let's come to nutrition, right? That we were talking about. I'll start with Rohit. What is your view on nutrition and how it kind of complements fitness?
Yeah, I think according to me, nutrition is more important than working out for fitness. Specifically, I think some studies have put it like 60% is food and then 40%, maybe more. And then so the rest of it is working out and physical fitness, right? And I think now even mental fitness is coming into this, right? There's food, nutrition, there's physical fitness, and there's now something called mental fitness, which is now people are associating with overall body fitness, like even mental is coming into it. But in terms of nutrition, I think it's very important, much more important. For me, I think more than the physical part of it, the physical fitness, the hard part is the nutrition. I can't control what is going inside me. Like I can control 5 days a week, and then 6 days I get bored. I want to try something new. I want to go eat outside. So for me, it's much more harder. And specifically, if I work out, the food part of it is very hard to control. I get more hungry. And if I eat less, I feel like I don't have enough energy to work out. So it's for me to balance both fitness and nutrition it's very hard for me. I feel that if I get that right balance, that is the day I reach my peak fitness, mentally, physically, everything. The day I learn to balance my food and my physical fitness. I've been trying out a few stuff. Some people told me to do detox for a couple of days a month, to get rid of all the toxins, to get rid of all the clear the body of all the negative stuff. Select one Sundays, just have juice, just have there's something called detox water, right? Which is like lemon, spinach, and sort of stuff in the water, and you just drink that for the whole day. So it's going to get rid of all your toxins in the body. That's what I was told. So do that twice a month. So that's something I think that's been a struggle, especially because I think the addictions, right? In terms of addiction, food addiction is the toughest one to get out of. Coffee addiction, cigarette addiction, drug addiction is still, that's what people talk about. The food part of it, even without knowing it, we're somehow addicted to eating food, like being a foodie, right? It's something psychologically, it's very
Sugar
hard
is
to
like
get.
cocaine.
Yeah, like sugar is super hard to get here. And especially sugar, I think we have the second biggest market for diabetes in the world. Like India is the second most diabetic country in the world, if I'm not wrong. So it's just that, especially with Indian food also, which I think makes it worse, right? If you just need to go out once a week or twice a week, and your body is like already it's done all the bad stuff that it needs to do in just 2 days because of all the masala, the fried food, the oil. So everything else kind of contributes it in the negative way. And that's why for me, nutrition is much more important. In terms of personal choices in nutrition itself, I'm a big milk lover. I'll always been drinking milk since when I was really young. So I love, and I always advocate for drinking milk when you're a kid. But the problem is that the newer generations, and as I've been finding out, there are a lot more people with lactose intolerance now compared to before. I don't know if it's just the food that we eat which is causing some enzymes in the body to turn that way, or is just the milk processing is suddenly different now. But yeah, I think that is something that is kind of changing in the world, the lactose intolerance. Because I think milk is the best thing to have when you're growing up. It's going to improve your immunity, improve your bones, and I think helps with your growth as well. You're not helps. I think when you associate childhood, I associate my childhood food to milk. I think that's what I remember when I grew up. Drinking milk more than the food. I think that is something that I advocate always. Yeah.
I think that's actually very true because even milk and then all the milk products like curd, yogurt. I love yogurt. I love my perugannam. Telugu people represent, right?
Yo, Peruganum.
Right, so perugannam. I love my perugannam. I love milk. I love all
God's
these products.
jizz.
Cheese. I love cheese. Okay, and then I like paneer as well. So all milk products, milk for the win. What is your take on it, Pranshu, with the whole veg and non-veg thing? And for a bodybuilder, when you were in your bodybuilding phase where you were a hardcore, give me the meat, okay, or I'm going to beat your meat or something. How did you go about it? Like, give me the meat.
Okay. Before I just start, I'd like to make a triangle over here. See him being at the far end of his sports, the type of sports, the variety of sports, the options that he needs, both in the activity that he does and the food that he eats has to be more. I fall into a category where I can eat the same thing 3 days a day. Even back then when I used to do bodybuilding, I used to eat 7 to 6 times. 6 times was the minimum, and all through the month as well. So that's me. I was like crazy about it.
Did you ever try putting a chicken breast in a shaker and making a juice shaker out of it and chug it?
I did.
Some bodybuilders do that. You did.
I did. Yeah.
You did. Oh my god.
This is exactly the time. The first how I opened my thing was forget about it. But yeah, there was when I was really depressed and I was not able to eat. When I'm depressed, I can't eat. So for some people, when they're depressed, it's the opposite. They fucking hog. Yeah.
When they're depressed, they eat the most unhealthy shit ever.
Sugar, ice cream,
and all. Yeah.
That's one thing I do, man. Even if I'm depressed, I kind of take it back. Whoa, I'm gonna watch myself. But anyway, talking about the triangle again. I'm that crazy that I can eat the same meal all through the friggin' tenure of my lifting days. You fall into the middle category. So this is like a good conversation that we're having. We have all three aspects, 3 angles sides here. But anyway, the question was non-veg to veg and all that.
Right. Yeah. What you were? Did you?
Oh, so back in the day
whole
when
meat thing.
back in the day when I was in the US and right after I came back, I believed so. Like I personally believe that you need a lot of meat to put on a lot of muscle and all that. But you know, not doing any research, just looking around, I don't think that's the case.
So what I've learned about it is that it's all about a complete amino acid.
Hmm.
So all animal protein. So whether it be chicken, red meat, fish, or even paneer, milk protein. Milk is also an animal protein at the end of the day. It's not completely vegan.
Yeah.
It's not vegan. It's a complete source of protein because it's got all the essential amino acids. Right. I think it's got all the 9 essential amino acids. Okay, which are required for building muscle. Right. On the other hand, vegan sources of protein like say dal, right? Okay, legumes, lentils don't contain a complete profile.
Vegan / vegetarian.
Vegan/vegetarian in the sense milk is vegetarian, but still
Yeah,
it contains it is a complete amino acid profile. It's a complete protein, right? And there's another thing that actually is a complete protein, quinoa, even though it's vegan.
Yeah.
Quinoa is vegan, but it's a complete protein. It contains all the 9 essential amino acids that one needs in order to build muscle.
But what I've also know is that you need more quantities of, let's say, quinoa to even replace some meat, right?
So that is bioavailability.
Yeah.
So if your bioavailability is, you could probably say, is how much of the protein is absorbed in your system. Egg whites are at 1. 1 is like 100%. 100% of your egg white, your body is going to absorb it like a sponge. Like, give me that protein.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right. Egg whites are that like the best shit ever.
Slurp it up.
Just slurp that protein, right?
Okay.
The other ones are not so much. It reduces the protein. So if you have like 10 grams, now don't quote me on this, I might not be 100% correct, but if it's got a bioavailability score of say 6, then if you have 10 grams of it, it's probably going to get 6 grams of protein or 7 grams in your system. That's generally how bioavailability works. Highest is egg whites.
Egg whites, yeah.
So all animal proteins basically have a higher amount of bioavailability.
Got it.
But now you were a hardcore meat eater, but then
Yeah, I was a hardcore meat eater. My carbohydrate to meat ratio, and as you know, the fiber and the natural fat ratio, the carbohydrate used to be like a small cup, a little much smaller than this, than the Chinese cups. And I used to eat like starchy rice, the sticky rice. I had a habit of eating with chopsticks. I was big on that because I used to live with Wei at that point. So he taught me how to eat anything with chopsticks. So I got really good with it. So yeah. Coming back, I reduced the amount of meat that I could. Firstly, it became a matter of cost because getting good. Firstly, quality, then cost. Getting good amount of quality meat for the right amount of price is pretty much expensive over here. I think past the technical difficulty we were speaking about, the how do we accomplish the nutrition in India. So I think that I've faced that problem. And I think you remember in the time of your wedding, we used to we were doing rehearsals, and I came with steel boxes of fish and stuff. It smelled really bad. But anyway, that availability in the Western Hemisphere, in the US or the Europe, you have that things available. Just throw it in the pan or the steamer, you get it done, eat quick, and you're out. But that availability over here is very scarce for the right price.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's available.
Very expensive.
it's available, but it's very expensive.
If it is available, it is damn near expensive, and you don't want to be associated with it, the paycheck that we get. But anyway, I've lowered the amount of meat that I eat. I still eat meat every day, but not the quantity that I used to eat before. Because the quantity that Sadiq Hadzovik, recommended me, and with my own research of that bodybuilding thing was like 1:2 of the carbohydrate and the protein. And when I used to do really heavy, I used to go like 2:3. So a little more of the protein and less of the carbohydrate. But then there was one very specific thing that I recognized. After I quit bodybuilding and before the bodybuilding phase, when I ingest beer, like when I drink beer, I get massive pump, right? A pump that my veins are blowing up, my size increases all of a sudden.
When you used to work out?
No, drink beer. The time I
During were you working out, if you drank beer, you had a
drank
massive
beer,
pump.
Yeah.
Now that's
Massive
gone.
Pump. Now
No, because it's not working out so much. So.
I'm not working out so much. Now but right after, before the the phase when I was working out, massive pump, as well as if I have a high dose of potato, same, and then a little bit of rice, not sona masuri what we eat in South India, but the sticky rice. It used to give me like a pump. Instead, that kind of like changed my idea of thinking about, wait, do I actually need this this amount of protein to get the...
So protein has nothing to do with pumps, as far as I know. What I've done in my research, okay, is that the pump actually comes from the carbohydrates.
Yeah, the glucose.
The glucose essentially swell up your muscles. Beer is carbs.
Yeah.
So beer actually will give you a good pump.
Yeah.
And what you actually have to do with that, along with potato, is potassium. In fact, potato has, I think, more potassium than even banana. Right, and is a little bit of salt. That's sodium, right?
Yeah,
So you already have,
got
so
you.
sodium, potassium, carbohydrate is a fantastic cocktail, okay, for your muscle, and it's going to slurp that bad boy like an old fashioned.
Yeah, exactly. For the map point, connect the dots I'm trying to do here. For the genetic code, or the that we have as South Asians, I don't think that we need to follow a certain plan that the other people follow back in America or anywhere.
Because
in the
they have a lot
Western
of availability of potatoes and beer.
So as soon as I pump up my body with carbohydrates, that's when I actually kind of feel full, body wise, not flat. Because back then 1:2 or 2:3 ratio, I was pretty flat.
Even in Europe, I don't see the point of, okay, I'm just letting you know that even if like anybody who does a bodybuilding show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, is going to do carb loading 2 days before. Okay, he starts working out. He's going to start eating as many carbohydrates as he possibly can. In fact, because the carbohydrates are going to go into his body and is going to give him that pump and that muscle fullness, right? So, irrespective whether European or Asian or whatever, carbs give you the pump.
That's what I'm trying to say. Certain people only. Not all of them pump up the carbs, because you kind of like blow up. You blow up. The intestine blows up, dude.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to say. The genetic code that we have, it's okay for us not to have that kind of meat. Me personally, I'm not saying us or the South Asians. Me personally, the kind of meat that I used to eat was crazy.
Meat is bad for your gut microbiome, gut bacteria, especially red meat.
Dude.
Okay, so it destroys your bad gut bacteria, is what I've essentially heard.
Got you.
While vegetables, and fermented foods, do very good when it comes to, your gut.
I'll just finish off by what I'm trying to say is that genetics also come into the equation,
Absolutely,
and that's very important as well. So he's heavy boned and heavy boned. You have a very slim small waist and all that. I never knew until you lost that kind of weight. I have a very wide rib cage that makes my shoulders not pop up that much. So genetics and how the kind of food that you take, how it reacts to your body, it differs from person to person, and genetics to genetics. So that's what I'm trying to try and get there.
Absolutely agreed. Genetics plays a very important role.
And one more thing, if you guys want to know what I used to eat, just go into my Instagram. There's something called I deactivated, but it's activated. Just go into my Instagram and check out the nutrition, so you'll see what I used to eat on a daily basis. Yeah, thanks.
I think, and then rounding off to Shiva, like how is your nutrition like right now? How do you maintain what you eat?
So I don't really track much, of what I eat. I generally eat what's at home, which is dal, chawal, right, pappu, annam, and kura.
Exactly, dude. This is why I'm telling. That's exactly what I'm saying. You look the way you look with the kind of food that you eat. Some people will say it's impossible.
Yeah, but I do take a lot of protein. I take 2 to 3 protein shakes in a day, and I also eat 5 egg whites.
Yeah.
And then I eat 2 whole eggs, right? And sometimes I just cook a piece of paneer like a steak. Right?
Exactly.
So you take paneer, you do it like a steak, and you can look like that because you actually have that kind of genetics. And genetics also differs, from people to people.
Okay.
Right? Because some guy came up to me the other day and said that I've been training for 3 years. He's asked me how long have you been training for? I said I've been training for like 3 years. Right? He's like, I've been training for 3 years. I don't look like you. And I'm like, how much protein are you eating? That's the first thing. And he says I'm eating 70 grams of protein, and he's 70 kgs. he should be eating 130 grams of
Yeah,
protein, or
exactly, yeah.
130 grams of protein is what he should be eating.
Yeah.
People say 2 grams of protein per kg of body weight. That's 140 grams of protein, and that is not easy to get. Okay, especially from a vegetarian diet. Okay, you need 2 to 3 protein shakes. You need egg whites and whole eggs. Whole eggs are also really fantastic, right? And of course, papanam, okay, which is called dal chawal, right? Or you can say lentils and lentil stew and rice, for those who don't understand either Hindi, Telugu. In English is what I'm explaining that, right? Is kind of like combining the protein in dal and combining the protein in rice, okay, to kind of make it holistic. That mix and match is something that you have to do. Okay, so Indian traditional cooking has always been like that, in that we've been vegetarians or we've been like vegans, right? But we've had like this sort of a thing where we combine various dishes, okay, to have that whole complete protein profile, okay, to get it. So that's my approach to diet and nutrition. Just see to it that you eat a lot of protein and just eat home cooked meals. That's it. You eat your home cooked meals, track your protein. That might not be the ideal way, but it's good enough.
I think everyone works differently for each person, and it's working for him, and it should continue for him.
Yeah.
See, if it's working for me, if I dial things down even more, it might work better. So I'm not saying that, you should not track your meals. If you measure, you can modify and you can master. So measure, modify, master is always a part of a thing that I always think about. If you measure your body, you can modify your habits and you can master your life.
Correct.
But anyways, I'm not measuring at the moment. I will start. And when I do start, I'll let you guys know. And it's going to be a fantastic journey. But anyways, completely changing gears right now. I would like to ask, who should I ask? You or you? Who should I ask?
You pick, yeah, man.
Okay, I'll pick you. I'm going to ask you about the dark side of fitness. Okay. What do you think about, like, when you see social media, when you see some guy who's accused as a fake natty? Because one guy actually came out as a fake natty.
What is a fake natty?
So a fake natty is someone who takes steroids.
Hold on, tell him what natty means.
Natty means natural. Okay, someone who's natural, someone who's not taken steroids in order to blow up, right? So that's what natural means, guys. Some people take testosterone, tren. Okay, tren is the most horrible thing that you could possibly take. Never
Trenbolone.
Trenbolone, right? And they take that to kind of blow up, right? And that gives you superpowers for a little bit of time, but it's borrowed gains, okay? Because you're kind of like extraneously injecting filth into your body, which you shouldn't. So some people basically claim natural, that they've never actually done this, but they actually do that. Okay, so they're actually lying to millions and millions of people, because they're millions of subscribers, right? And these millions of subscribers who probably might be a 15-year-old kid thinking, I can look like that, right? Because he doesn't know better. And this guy is a fake natural. So what do you talk about the, dark side of fitness, especially in the, what is actually called the manosphere, that is masculinity, and about gym cells who kind of do that because they hate women, they want to attract women, and they have nothing to show for it. And then the mental health about men, because some say that men just have to go to therapy, but they instead end up going to the gym, right? Right. Or some men say that gym is my therapy, right? What do you have to say about these things?
I think for me, like I wanted to take an example to explain this, right? So you're playing a game, and you're really sucking at it, and you've seen some other people play, like when you're young, you play them very well. Like let's say Counter-Strike. Like what if you get a cheat code and you're killing everyone, and then you can boast.
Man, that's
hey,
a nice example.
Yeah, and then hey, I'm number one. But no one knows that you've cheated because you used the cheat code.
Aimbot.
But you're number one, right? It feels really good. He wants to repeat it again. He does it again. Now keep saying, hey, you're talented. Hey, wow, you're so good at Counter-Strike, right? The same setting in gym. No one knows you're taking it. But suddenly you're like the talk of the town. Hey, you have really good muscles. Hey, look really good. What did you do? But no one knows that you're doing this stuff. You're getting validation from a lot of people. You're number one in something. You look good, you feel good about yourself. So why not continue it, right? So I think mentally is that the thing. I think that's what I associated, right? You get a cheat code. It's basically all the stuff you said, right? The steroids, the trem.
Yeah,
it's
like
basically a cheat code. You want to, and makes you feel good about yourself. They want to skip the process. When you say process, is the fun part. That's 90% of the people feel that result is the fun part. They don't really care about the process. They want the result fast. And to get that, they use the cheat codes. And I feel that is the reason they want to keep doing it, because they keep getting validation. Like you do this, you get 200k more followers. You're doing something good. Then you're doing it more. You're getting more and more. And where do you stop? You can't, because you never learn that it's not good. Like you always associate mentally, again psychologically. You associate doing this equal to more followers, equal to more validation, equal to I should do it more. So it's a very bad circle, right? I don't think mentally they think it's a dark thing. It's a bad thing. They feel it's a good thing because hey, I'm making more money. At the end of the day, I'm getting famous. I'm getting validation. That is the end result, right? That they need. So I think that is the reason they kind of do it that way. More than masculinity, I think it's the validation. Masculinity, again, at the end of the day, is validation, right? Yeah, validation that hey, wow, you look so manly. Wow, you look. I think that is the thing they're looking at. They're not looking at how strong you are. It's how strong you are when you are, when someone else says it. When you look at yourself and say, hey, I'm really good, I think a lot of people don't care about that. They want others to say it.
Right. They want that validation from
I
other
think
people.
when you get validation from yourself is when you've reached your peak mental state. You don't need validation from others. Hey, I look perfectly fine by myself. I don't need some other person to say I'm good or you look good. What is the standard of good, right? So, hey, you look good like this. When you feel that you're good, I think that is the end part. You don't need to care about the others, but it's 95% of people don't really do that. They want others to say, if they want others to validate, their point, what they think.
Correct.
I think that is the issue.
That's the issue, right? What are your thoughts on this, Pranshu?
On a personal, platform, I'd say when I was lifting it's known and unknown confidence. So when you get compliments, okay, hold on a second, who did I get a compliment from? That makes much of a difference. You're going to get compliments from a whole ladder of people. So the tier 1 guys, level 1, level 2, and when you get you're going to work your way up all the way to getting a compliment from the guy who's actually like Derek Lunsford, I said. That guy was like a really good motivator for the younglings who walked into the gym. Of course, with the perks of having a great physique, you had that appeal on you, and then you get validation from girls now and then. Back then, I was slowly seeing that, and then it came to the point where I was neck deep in vagina. So that was the point. So, and when I had that injury, the confidence just plummeted down like stock market, dude. It just went back. I at one point I forgot how to talk to women, so it was that bad. So I've seen that's like nothing to relate to anything, but that's I guess I was at one point I was like, okay, shit, man, I'm losing this. I go, what do I do to gain it back? And that made me not take the necessary time and steps to recover in 100% of my injury, but rather to maintain that form and shape of my body to just give me that confidence.
I think common point is that he needs confidence from some other person. He doesn't get confidence from himself.
That is there, dude. Yeah. I always look into the mirror when I'm in the gym, when I'm at home. Back then, a lot of times, lift up my t-shirt, look at those abs and stuff, and you walk up straight because of that. That actually gives me
I think up to a certain extent, it is fine to have that kind of self-validation if you're looking at yourself in the mirror. But I think what might not be great is if you kind of like, it's not just about you, but what about anything where be it nutrition freaks who have to basically be like, I will never eat like 1 gram of ice cream in my life because that will send me
I was the same, dude. I was the same. In a way I still am,
right,
because what happened was coming to the conference things, the first time when I walked into that Indiana State gym, I saw these guys with big shoulders and all that kinds of stuff, right? 2 years later I was one of them.
Awesome.
So that was like, oh shit, I got to the point. Now the only way going is down. I can't go anywhere else. So that scared me.
This is not at all true. If I can, to a certain extent, motivate you and also tell one important caveat at the end is to motivate you, and is to say that the potential of lifting, even for natural lifters, is very high.
Yeah, of course.
Right? You can grow people. There are natural lifters growing even at the age of 40.
Yeah,
literally. These are natural people who've never taken steroids. They've been lifting for 10 years, 15 years. They're almost hitting 40 and they are still making gains.
Of course.
That is the beauty of the human body. You throw absolute horror at it and it will make that horror turn it into sublime beauty. Through effort.
For example, there's that model who's really famous. The guy's name is Milind Soman. He is like one of the fittest guys ever, but he is like only running. He loves running. He goes running. He's gotten his mom involved, who's like 80s, and they do marathons together.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And they're really fit.
Who is this guy? He's doing marathons with his mother. That's so much fun, man.
Milind Soman.
Yeah.
He's like proper. I don't know for his past about natty or not natty, but last 20 years, 10 years, I think he's been a big advocate of running, natural fitness.
Yeah.
And you can, I think you can even see the difference in bodies, right, in terms of natural fitness and non-natural
Of
fitness.
course,
You can actually, I
100%.
think, make it out. At
You
this
can
point,
make it out up to a certain point, but there are certain people who it becomes very difficult. For example, there is one guy called Jeffrey Verity Schofield. Okay. You look at that man, he is natural and he has, his arms are as big as our heads.
Yeah. So that goes
He's
in
natural.
reverse as well. Here's what I have seen in people like Derek Lunsford.
He's not, definitely not quite, he's not natty.
He's definitely not natty. But the thing is, he has exceptional genetics. So even if he takes that amount of, steroids or whatever, it looks that muscle chad jata hai uske upar as if it is natural. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right,
they have
right.
a way of making that work out for them.
Right. I mean, he's probably got genetics. He probably looked better than us natty than us on gear. That's how good his genetics
Exactly.
is.
The
That's
genetics
what-
matter,
yeah.
man. The
Like
genetics.
Chris
ooh,
Bumstead,
man.
even before he started injecting anything into his body,
Yeah.
had muscles and had like a fitness regimen and had strength that would probably not, that was better than most people on gear. Okay, that's how
Exactly.
awesome he was.
So
But the important caveat that I wanted to make about this injury that you get is that we should kind of look at life in a non-stick cookware.
exactly, non-stick cookware is, oh my god, please push that to this audience
So
whoever's
like be
listening.
non-stick cookware in life. Never take.
Be the guy in the
lifting
middle,
seriously.
this guy in the middle, not me, because I was too crazy and I got myself into a lot of shit.
But anyways, you were saying something. After the non-stick cookware,
What was I saying?
what were you saying?
I guess, I mean, this is it, we've given our audience a whole bunch of information about three aspects of,
Three aspects of stuff.
Mental,
fitness,
physical, nutrition.
active fitness personnel. So, that's
Absolutely.
sports and activity. You are in the middle. Me, I was a freak.
I think I would like to end it in terms of more about the mental fitness. They say that physical fitness will help your mental fitness. If you have
Absolutely.
depression, work out.
Let-
But it's not that easy. Because it's the other way around too. If you have mental fitness, if you have very low mental fitness, you have a lot of problems mentally. Like you have depression, you have some mental issues, you have a lot of disturbing stuff, anxiety. Let's say. It's very hard to go to a gym. How
Yeah.
hard it is to get motivated to go to a gym.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think it's not easy as they say, hey, you have depression, go to a gym. It's not that easy. That's why I think mental is a lot of people. It's even especially in India, it's kind of a taboo thing. It's improving, yes, but I think it's still a lot of unspoken stuff that goes. So I think mental fitness is a very uncovered stuff. I think a lot of studies have gone into it, but people don't want to talk about it. I think that is something that is a future conversation starter.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll make a quick point. What he just said, for me, what clicked a long time ago, not when the movie released, but after a few scenes that I saw of it. You guys remember Surya Son of Krishna?
Yeah.
And right at the moment when he's doing upside down push-ups, he says something, if your mind is not always going to be ready, so you better get the body ready. And so that dialogue just stuck to me. So that's why I'm like, I know I'm a very, zoned out guy. I'm most of the time, kind of on the edging for the fences when it comes to emotional wreckage and then, depression and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always trying to keep my body in check so that my mind is regulated at point because I don't want to fuck my body up and then.
I don't think I want to have this barrier between mind and body. Okay, in some sense.
So one
because
thing, it's
there
just one
is-
thing.
It's kind of like one thing. Okay, some people have like depression. Okay, because they don't have, literally, I spoke about this before, because they
Virtue,
don't have good gut bacteria.
Yo,
Because
exactly,
there's a gut axis
man.
connection. There's a gut
Oh,
axis
yeah,
connection.
you pulled
So
out.
You got some bad bacteria in your gut, and your bloody brain
Exactly,
doesn't
you
work
pulled the
properly.
rabbit out of the ass, man. That is, it is, dude. Gut health is very important. Gut health is exceptionally important. Imagine that, like, human body used to like digest so many things, and then there's some part of our body that we don't require anymore, which just still grows but has no function. So I think, gut health is
and
very
then
important.
Some people who have some really bad gut bacteria, do you know what's happening? I've saw this on YouTube. It's called fecal transplantation. Okay, which
Oh,
is just another way of
fuck
saying
that, man.
you take some poop from one guy and shove it in the poop of another guy.
So what does that do?
It creates good gut bacteria, and the guy with the bad.
Man. In the large intestine.
Yeah.
I suppose so, man.
Something of
so
that
the
kind.
mucus of the large intestine is
Sign
to
yeah,
get
yeah,
ends up
got
to
it.
help
Yeah,
the
right,
digestion.
All right, do your own research. It's getting way too.
Yeah, it's like two girls, one cup.
Yeah,
2.0.
we don't want to like spoil your ears and.
Yeah, we don't want to get too dark here.
But I
All
think
right.
we just wanted to touch upon that. It's very important, mental health, specifically related to physical health, and both are equally important.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it could be one if you're reached a stage when it is one. It is probably the peak that you are. But that is the aim, I think, for everyone to have good mental and physical fitness.
Yep.
It's a beautiful way of rounding it up. We did ask a question though, wrapping it up in the next 2 minutes, is that I asked a question about human rights. Right?
Yeah,
do you,
in the
do
last
you believe in
podcast,
it or not? Let's actually postpone that again to the next podcast and see if we can answer that. And let us know in the comments what topic would you like to like for us to actually talk about. Whether it would be ethics, morality, and human rights, and talk about that, or is that too heavy? And do you want us to talk about a book review? Okay, because Rohit was talking to me about a very nice book and called The Animal Senses.
It's called The Immense World. It's basically about animal senses and how each animal perceives something differently according to what they see or what they hear or what they smell. And it's about their senses. It's very interesting.
Right. Or do you want us to just do something about food? Maybe a pizza, maybe ice cream, maybe ethics, human rights, fitness, mental health, and okay, all of this is getting too.
Maybe
just
they
wanna-
want us to flash our tits or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
maybe we want us to do that. We will not be doing that. We have a different OnlyFans page. You can follow us on OnlyFans.
We will have a podcast of just Shiva showing off his biceps.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let me know if you want that.
Talking about biceps, if you're
Talking
wondering
about
what we're wearing
biceps.
right now,
This
it's
is doing
very
some casual
comfortable.
flex. Yeah.
Gym wear. It's called Trip. I've got
it's
a couple of pairs. He's got a couple of pairs. We do work out in this.
We
Pretty
work out in this. It's awesome.
comfortable. We're not sponsored or anything, but we just no, this is good. This is good material. Go out there and Trip, TRYP. All right, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you for
all right.
staying on.
Let us know in the comments what you want. Is it food? We can do something about food. I'm hungry. Let's eat.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.
Bye bye.